Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Yesterday, I had lunch with the folks at Rams Head on stage at Rams Head, and I have to say it is great to start talking again about guest podcasts with artists that are coming into town for shows, so you want to make sure you stay tuned. And we still need to figure out how we can work on some free tickets for contests for everybody here that's listening, so stay tuned for that as well. All right, it is hump day, so let's get going. A terrible four-vehicle accident on the Bay Bridge yesterday afternoon left one person dead. Full details have not been released just yet, but just before 3 p.m., crews were called for a multi-vehicle head-on crash on the bridge with one person trapped. The span was accommodating two-way traffic. Trooper 1, a helicopter from the Maryland State Police, was called to the scene to transport the injured victims, and we know that at 4 p.m. there was at least one fatality. The westbound span was closed for 2 hours, and one lane had opened by about 5:30, and all lanes were again opened by 6 p.m. as authorities investigated the incident. You want to be sure to check back with eyeonannapolis.net a little bit later today for more details on that. The Maryland Department of the Environment filed a $2.1 million lawsuit against a Columbia company, Ecology Services, and their facility in Pasadena. MDE alleges that they did nothing to resolve an issue of polluted runoff that drained into the Magothy River. They signed a consent order last year to correct it, but MDA says that they inspected 4 times and it was not corrected. They're seeking $10,000 for each of those 4 days, and they also found out that they did not have the permit to operate from January through August of 2020, and they're also seeking $10,000 for each of those 213 days for when they did not have a permit. A Crownsville man will be spending the next 18 months in jail for manslaughter in the death of a friend. Thomas Cole Sr. and his friend George Jager were drinking at Buffalo Wild Wings back on May 6th of 2019 and decided to go for a boat ride from Liberty Marina on the South River. At some point, Jager went to urinate off the boat and somehow fell in. Cole left his friend, returned to the marina, actually left the marina and then returned to the marina again, and then called the police. Jager was pulled from the South River alive, but unfortunately did not survive. Cole had a blood alcohol content of 0.11. He did plead guilty and was sentenced to 10 years with all but 18 months suspended, and since he had not served any time in jail prior to sentencing, he was immediately taken to jail. And in some better boating news, not only are the schooners Woodwind and the Annapolis Maritime Museum's Wilma Lee sailing our waters, the water taxis are back. Watermark has announced that the taxis are running on weekends only for now. Fridays from 3:30 p.m. to 11 p.m., Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Spot Creek, Back Creek, the mooring field, just across the harbor, etc., it doesn't really make a difference. Fares will range from $4 to $9, and the best way to handle that is to download an app called Where in Annapolis, and you can pay right there, totally contactless. It's easy. I used it all last summer. If you have a marine radio, Channel 68 is where to hail them, or if you want to give them a call, 410-263-0033 will connect you with their dispatch. Well, it is almost May, and that means May Day in Annapolis. Last year, it was basically canceled, and it was a miserable rainy day anyway, but it is one of the most beautiful days in Annapolis all year. And to tell us a little bit about it, here is Mitchell Stevenson from the city of Annapolis.
May baskets are coming to Annapolis. The Garden Club of Old Annapolis Town invites you to join the 66th annual May Day celebration. May Day is a rite of spring in many places, and Annapolis is no exception. On Saturday, May 1st, the Garden Club of Old Annapolis Town invites residents and businesses to join in the 66th annual May Day celebration by displaying colorful baskets of flowers in front of their homes or businesses. Participants, observers, and visitors are encouraged to use social media to share photos of their favorite baskets by using the hashtags MayDayAnnapolis 2021 and 66th Annapolis May Day. This year's theme is gratitude and appreciation for health workers and other helpers in our community. Due to the pandemic and social gathering restrictions, the Garden Club won't be awarding blue ribbons, but they do hope to see folks masked and out viewing the colorful baskets around town.
Okay, let's keep the good news rolling. Tonight, the return of Dinner Under the Stars, Inner West Street. Reservations are probably the best way, but you can try a walk-up. And I have to say, in my 25 years here in Annapolis, this whole Dinner Under the Stars thing is absolutely the best idea the city has had, hands down. Much better than a wrong way bike lane. And as that meme says, go ahead, try to change my mind. All right, that does wrap up the news for us today. As always, thank you for listening. And if you are somewhere where you can leave us a rating or a review, please do. And make sure you let your friends, family, and colleagues know to follow us. A quick thank you to the sponsor for the Daily News Brief today, Solar Energy Services up in Millersville, and the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company. All right, hang tight. We have George Young from DCMD VA Weather standing by with your locally forecast weather report. But right now, here's Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Are you kicking yourself for not installing solar in 2020, missing out on that sweet 26% federal income tax credit? Not to worry, because legislation passed at the very end of 2020 extended the 26% tax credit, which means consumers like you can act now to get that credit and have your new solar system up and running before springtime when solar generation moves into peak season. Plus, in addition to the feds, several state and county incentives help to make the solar investment an even bigger no-brainer. Don't have the cash? We've got you covered with competitive financing that is more than offset by the energy savings. Bottom line, Uncle Sam wants you to install solar, and so does the state of Maryland. And you're going to love the savings, so what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasting. Contact us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMD VA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMD VA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMD VA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, April 21st. Yesterday was a stellar springtime day for the Annapolis region with tons of sun and temps in the 70s, but today will bring a bit of a different weather result to the region as a cold front moves through from the west. Look for highs today in the mid-60s to maybe lower 70s for most, but winds will be breezy and ultimately outright gusty with some gusts possibly over 40 miles per hour at times. So be sure to get off the water sooner versus later if boating, as conditions could become dangerous with waves of 2 to 4 feet on the bay, along with gusty winds and possibly some thunderstorms as well as the cold front moves through. And behind that cold front will be much cooler air with flat-out cold conditions returning tomorrow morning with AM lows in the 30s Thursday before sunshine in mid to upper 50s for afternoon highs Thursday, ahead of sunshine and 60s on Friday before rain showers return on Saturday, possibly lasting into Sunday morning with highs each day this weekend likely in the mid to upper 60s. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DC MD VA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DC MD VA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores. And also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and use our website each day by visiting DCMDVAweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company.
So maybe you've heard by now, the real estate market is hot. Actually, on fire might be a better term. And if you've been thinking about changing your address lately, but need to get your house market ready, here are a few simple tips to make your house shine. Clear the clutter. Basically making your house look like no one lives there when you still live there. Removing everything from kitchen and bathroom countertops is a great start. Give your house a deep clean. We're not just talking about a simple dust and vacuum. Think of this as detailing your house. Get into those hard-to-reach places, especially in the rooms buyers will focus on, like the kitchen and bathrooms, and power wash the outside walkways and decks. A fresh coat of paint can go a long way. Light gray and white trim is a safe choice. And finally, talk to us. The Kristi Neidhardt Team can help you find things you might not notice around your house that can make a huge difference in your sale price.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
You've been listening to the Eye On Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye On Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.